Good evening, guys. I'm Lavleen Kaur here. So today, I am here to give the session on getting started with Jetpack Compose. But before starting the session, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Lavleen Kaur, having 4+ years of experience in Android application development, and currently I am working as a software engineer in Android. So, like today, we are going to discuss about the Jetpack Compose, the most trending topic from the Android, or I can say the most hot topic from the Android development. So we are going to talk about the Compose, that when Compose came and what is the current scenario for the Compose, and what is going to be the pathway for the Compose, and from where we can learn the Compose. And if you are a fresher in Android, or either you have experience in Android application development with Java, either with Kotlin, I'm going to tell you the both tracks, either for experienced or fresher. So let's start with the session. So, firstly, I'm going to discuss about the agenda of the session, that what we are going to discuss. So, first of all, we will understand what exactly is Jetpack Compose, and what are the benefits of Compose if we are going to use this Compose in Android, and what is going to be the pathway for experienced one and for fresher one, and how we can earn digital badges with the help of this pathway, because these pathways are designed by the Google, but these pathways are designed by the Google developers. So if we are following this pathway, if we are following the code labs, if we are watching these pathway videos, after that we are going to have some digital badges, and you can use that digital badges on your resume, on your LinkedIn account, on your profile. And after that, what are the resources of for that pathway, and what are the extra resources are going to be for Jetpack Compose. So all this we are going to discuss in this session, and after all this discussion, we are going to have some hands-on experience on Compose. Okay, so let's quickly move to Jetpack Compose. So basically, name is itself saying that Jetpack Compose is basically a part of Jetpack. Google introduced Jetpack in past 3 to 4 years, and every year they are introducing some components in a Jetpack. So Compose is the latest one module from the Jetpack, and basically it is a modern toolkit, and it is allowing us to declare the declarative UI. So if you are like making the designs with the help of XML, but now you want to make some declarative UI, and you have to reduce the render time, and you have to optimize your app, you can use the Jetpack Compose. And the second most important thing is this, that if you are writing your apps with the help of Compose, and you must select Kotlin as a programming language, because Android Studio is currently giving us options, either we can choose Kotlin or Java. But there is a limitation for Compose, yes, that if we are going to use the Compose for the designing purposes, then we must use Kotlin as a programming language. And the third one is, yes, Compose is making our life very very easy, because it is going to reduce the number of lines of code, and it is a declarative UI, and obviously it is going to be fast, and we can make complicated designs in very easy manner with the help of Jetpack Compose. So this is exactly the Jetpack Compose, and in this figure you can see that if we are going to write the design code either for mobile, for tablet, or for wear. So this is the image of smartwatch. So you have to just use the common code, and we can keep it as a common code, and we can run our Compose design in any of the platform. So there are some benefits of using Jetpack Compose. If you are like already familiar with the XML, then you must know that even for printing a simple line in Android Studio, we have to write the multiple lines of code. We are using some layouts, under that layouts we are using some widgets and all those things. Okay, but like if you are using Jetpack Compose, obviously your code is reducing to so many level, and it is going to reduce at some extent. So we can basically do the more things with the less number of lines of code, and it is going to be very easily maintained. And after that, You just have to describe your UI. After that, Compose is going to take care of that, how it is going to render, how it is going to show to the user, and all those things. And if you want to manage the states in Compose, if you want to change some things, for example, without refreshing the screen and all those things, you can easily do with the help of Compose. And it is going to accelerate your development. Why? Because it is compatible with all your existing code. Let us suppose if your application have three screens, and currently you are having 10 to 15 XML files with you, and the new one you want to make with the help of Compose, yes, you can make it. So it's mean that if you want to mix match XML and Compose in your previous projects or in your old one projects, you can do so. And obviously it is powerful, because it is allowing the Android developer to use some Android platform specific APIs directly. And also it has all the built-in support for material design, dark theme, animations, and all those things. Because if you are currently working with XML, you must know that if we want to give some dark theme support, we have to do something extra. We have to manage all the resources, we have to add the third party libraries for material designs and all that. But like if you are going for Compose, those things are coming in the Compose package, and you can easily do so. So, okay, this slide is quickly going to tell you about the difference between the traditional view and the Compose view. Here you can see that I take one text view in my XML file, and I assign width and height of that particular text view. After that, there is some text that is going to print something hello world, and it is going to pick the resources from the strings file. And after that, we are basically mentioning the text color and text side. So you can see there are like 7 to 8 lines of code for just printing the hello world on the mobile screen. But if you want to do the same with the help of Compose, what you need to do, you have to make one composable function. Here my composable function is going to be print hello world. So I am going to give one annotation to print hello world, that is at the rate composable. This is very, very, very important, because if you are not going to give this annotation and you are just making a simple function in Kotlin, it is going to be considered as a normal function. But here I am giving annotation that is at the rate composable. So basically it is telling Android Studio, yeah, that yes, that is, it is a composable function. And after that, you can see here that I am using one composable function, that is basically text. You can see here. Okay. And in this particular text, I am passing one string that is hello world, and color is the next parameter of a text composable function. And we are mentioning the color dot white, and font size is going to be 50.sv. Now, what is the advantage of composable function over the traditional view? That I can reuse this composable function as many times. But if I am going to use this text view widget in XML directly, then if I am going to print 6 lines or 7 lines, then I have to write this particular widget every time, and it is going to increase a lot of code. But same, if I want to do the same thing with the help of a composable function, we can easily do so. So here you can see exactly the different approaches for just printing the single line in Android screen. And you can also see that there is a less number of code, and there is a less complexity for the code as well, and it is going to be managed very easily. Okay, so yeah, Jetpack composes a love, because I can say currently I am working on a project which is like 4 to 5 years old, and we are using XML in that. But the day when I started implementing Jetpack Compose in that particular project, the things are going to be very easy for me. Why? Because it is manageable. It is going to reduce a lot of code. These basically composable functions are reusable, and for all those things, yes, Jetpack Compose is a love that is going to make every Android developer happiest developer of this world. So if you want to start Android development from a very scratch level, so I will like recommend you, please go Android with Compose instead of Android with XML. And if you are a like experienced developer, you are having experience of 3 to 4 years or more than 5 years, whatever you experience in Android development, I will suggest you that please, it is a high time to switch from XML to Compose. And yes, you can make very beautiful screens with the help of Compose. So, okay. Now I am going to talk about the pathways, that if you want to start your compose journey, from where you can start. So basically Google is providing us some trainings, and that is obviously free. Of course, there is no payment criteria for that. If you have a Google account, you can apply for that pathways, and it is going to be a free. So basically in this pathway there will be a sequential manner, there will be some activities. Like for example, they are showing you one video and you have to just see that particular video. There is going to be some article, you have to read that article, and there is going to be some code labs which is going to help you for the basic understanding of compose. And after that, on the completion of every pathway there is going to be one quiz, and if you are going to pass that quiz, then you can earn digital badges. And that digital badges are going to be available on your Google account profile, and you can place those badges on your resume, on your LinkedIn profile, or any other profile. So suppose you are applying for the job, so it is going to be very helpful, because recruiter can now see, yes, that you know compose, you have some pathway training, and you did this pathway training from Google. So it is going to be very helpful. So I am going also going to tell you that from which resources you can see that how many pathways are there for compose, and how many uh, like um, uh, trainings are there for compose by Google. So we are going to discuss this also. So this was actually for the digital badges for which I was talking. Like you can see here, this is a Kotlin badges, this is for Android Studio, okay, and this is for other development. And you can also mark your some badges as a favorite badges, and you can share these badges on your profile. Now, if I talk about the pathway resources, that from where you can start the pathway, you just have to write that Jetpack Compose pathway by Google in Google. And the first thing is going to be your pathway, and there are basically two tracks. The first track is going to be for beginner level, and the second track is going to be for experience level. If you are at fresher level, you can pick the first pathway. So that pathway is going to teach you firstly Kotlin. After that, you have to do the Android app development course. And for the experienced one, there is no course for Kotlin. There is directly one pathway, that is Compose for the experienced one, and you can do so. So there are basically 3 to 4 modules in each pathway. And I already told you that under each pathway there are going to be some activities like code labs, video, and all those things. You have to complete those. And also Google is recommending you to do some open-ended projects. Like in unit 1 there is business card app, unit 2 art space app, and in unit 3 30 days app. It is your choice if you want to contribute, and if you want to contribute by learning, you can do so. Okay, so basically these are the links, these are the resources from where you can start the pathway journey. So the first and the second link are both for the tutorial link, and the third link is going to be for pathway link. So you can take the references from these resources. Okay, so now our session is going to be enter in a second phase, that is hands-on session for the compose. So I am going to do some hands-on. So let me quickly open Android Studio. Like I told you already in my previous session that how to set up Android Studio for Windows. There was some installation guide, and there were some installation steps. You just need to follow that, and you can install Android Studio in your own machine. And also, if you have Android device with you, you can use that for debugging and for build purposes. But if you do not have Android device with you, you can set up the emulator in your own machine, and you can run the application in that particular emulator. Okay, so okay, so I already opened one project, but I'm going to open now one project from very scratch level for you guys. So I'm going to just click on new project. So now you can see here there are so many templates. If you want to build application with the help of XML, then you must pick basic activity, this one. Okay, but now like we are talking about the compose, we want to make our application with the help of compose, and I'm going to choose empty activity with compose, this one. You can see here, basically this logo is going to be for Compose. And if you want to create a project with the help of material 3, then you must choose this one, empty compose activity material 3. So among all the templates you can see here, there are basically two templates are for Compose, so I'm going to pick this one, empty compose activity, right? And I'm going to click on next. Okay, so we are going to give one beautiful name to our application. So I'm going to give Android Compose. Okay, so this is the name of my application, Android Compose. So this is going to be the package name. You can set any unique name for your application, and after that there is save location. And now you can see here there is one drop down for language, but you can see now that it is disabled, it is not enabled. Why? Because I already told you that if you're going to write the code of your design in Compose, then you must choose Kotlin. There is no going to be option for Java. Okay, so this is disabled. And here you can see the minimum SDK level. So I am basically going to target the API level 23, that is going to be Marshmallow for 6.0. And this application is going to be run on approximately 96.2% of the whole devices. So currently there are more than 15,000 types of Android devices. So it is, this application is going to cover approximately 96%. And now I am going to quickly click on finish button. So you can see that when I clicked on finish button, Gradle is building. So we have to wait for the Gradle, that when Gradle is going to be completed, after that we can change the code, right? So I just need to wait for this Gradle build. And this Gradle building process is going to be dependent on the hardware configuration of your system. And like for example, if you have i5 machine with 8 GB RAM with no SSD, might be it can take 5 to 10 minutes. But if you have a latest machine with you like i7 with latest generation with SSD with dedicated graphic card, might be it can take few seconds. So this Gradle speed and for the execution of APK for making the build, all those processes are going to be dependent on basically the hardware configuration. So currently, I'm going to show you one empty activity. What exactly empty activity is giving us? I just created one project that was empty project. Now I'm going to run this APK. You can see already that there is Pixel 3. I already installed on my machine. And let's just wait for Gradle build. Okay. So now our application is installed, and you can see here that it is written here hello world, hello Android, sorry. Here you can see hello and name, and we are passing this Android. So I will exactly tell you that what exactly this code is, but I just want to show you quickly that what we are going to print. So here in screen you can see here that it is going to print hello Android on the screen. Okay. So, okay, now I'm going to tell you about that when we are going to create one basic project with Compose screen, that what exactly that project is going to give us. So you can see here under resources file, there is one XML, but there is no layout package. If you are already familiar with Android Studio, you must know that under resources we have one package, and that package is going to be a layout. And under that layout, we have basically the code for all the layout files, like for all the XML files. But under this, there is no going to be XML files for the design purposes. So that's why we are going to write the code for our designs in this main activity, right? And under main activity, basically what we are going to do, that we are going to do the both things. We are going to design also, and we are going to put some logics also. And I am just going to quickly tell you that what exactly this code is. So main activity is going to be the class. and basically it is extending the component activity. So if I am going to click on this component activity, you can see here that this basically activity is going to handle the life cycle of this particular activity. Okay, so you can see the code for life cycle also. And under this main activity we have one function that is on create, and basically this is a overridden method of component activity. So we are basically setting our content in this method that is on create. And under set content we have our theme, that is Android Compose theme. Basically it is a default theme which every Compose project is going to use. So this is the Compose theme. Okay, and you can see here that it is going to support both type of themes, either it is dark or light. So like you can now exactly compare. If you're going to create this project exactly with the help of Eczema, then you have to manage the dark and light themes in Android project. But like now I am creating this project with the help of Compose, so I don't need to bother that either it is a dark mode or light mode. It is going to responsible both. And under this scene basically we have one surface. So you can take the surface as one, I can say one layout, and under that surface we are going to print everything. And we have one composable function, that is greeting. And under greeting we have again one composable function, that is text. So in Java it is very easy to identify the classes and a function. So when every word is going to be written with the capital letter, we just assume that in Java it is going to be class. And whenever if something is in the camel case, we just assume that it is a function. But like in Compose, if you can see here that from the text there is a capital T then small e x t, but it is not going to be a class, it is going to be a function. But this is not an ordinary function, it is going to be a composable function. So the rule for writing the composable function is going to be that you have to follow the Pascal case, and you have to write the first character of that particular word in a capital manner. Okay, so today I'm going to design one login screen that is going to accept one email and one password. And under that basically email and password, we are going to place one button. And on clicking on that particular button, we are going to show some toast to the user. Okay, so we are going to make this screen. And so, if I give you very brief idea that if there is a edit text in XML, so text field is going to be equivalent to edit text. And if you want to print something on the screen in XML, we are using text view, but in Compose we are going to use text. So you can see here we are using text for printing anything on Android. So I am now going to create one screen. So firstly, let me do one thing. We are going to place this particular block in some layout. So in Compose, basically, we have three layouts, that is row, column, and box. So we know that in login screen, we are going to show everything in a vertical manner. So I am going to take here one column. Okay, so this column is also going to be a composable function. You can see here this annotation is being used, and in this column function we have this property, that is modifier, vertical arrangement, horizontal alignment, and content. So what I am exactly going to do, I am going to use text field. I just write text field, and I have these two things with me, that is value and on value change. So for this, I'm just going to check that what exactly is this value and on value change. If I'm going to click on this text field, you can see here that value is going to be a text field value, and on value change is going to be higher order function. So you can see here basically it is passing as a unit, so it is going to be a higher order function. So what exactly for, like for temporary purposes, I'm going to do one thing. I am passing here empty string, and in on value change I am going to use this curly braces, right? And we just want to give one hint to the user. And in XML, basically what exactly we use hint. And in this compose we are going to use placeholder. And under placeholder, again I am going to use composable function that is going to be a text. And under this text I am going to give my string, that is enter email. Okay, so I am going to use this. And also we can check that if placeholder is going to accept text as it is or not. How exactly we can check? We just have to press the control in Windows, and I'm going to click this text field. And you can see here that placeholder is not going to accept text directly, so it is also a higher order function. So what exactly I'm going to do? I am going to place it under curly brace. So now while it's gone, and I here take one column, and under that column I use one text field, and this text field is going to be responsible for taking the input of email. So now if we just want to check the output for this code, here you can see there is a processing. What I need to do, um, we just need to rebuild it. Now it is again rendering. So you can see here there is two output, that is hello world and hello Android, and after that there is enter email. So I am going to remove this text. After that I am again going to build it. Yeah, now we are good with the email property. You can see this is the added text equivalent to XML, and here we are taking input for the email. And now after this email I have to use one block for the password. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take one another text field. I'm just using this one, so I'm copying it and pasting. So here I'm going to write enter password, and I'm going to rebuild it again. Yeah, we have a field of email and password. So let's just check the output of this code in emulator. You can see this field is going to be responsible for email, and this is going to be password. But you can see here we have to put some margins between the both. So for the margin purposes I'm going to use spacer composable function. So this one spacer, and under spacer I want to give one property modifier dot height, and under that I'm going to use certain point. You can see here now DP is going to be in red color. It means something wrong with this DP. It means there is some error. You can see here this is also red, this is also red, here is also a red sign, unresolved reference. So for resolving all these type of error, what you need to do, you have to use alt plus enter in Windows, and it is going to handle all the errors automatically. And if that error is not going to be handled by Android Studio, then again Android Studio will tell you that yes, I can't handle this error, you have to handle this error by yourself. But we can check. So let's just build and refresh it. Now you can see here there is some margin between enter email and enter password. After that, again, what exactly I'm going to use, I'm going to give some space, and after that I have to use one button, because we need to place one button for the as a submit button in the login screen. So yes, button is itself saying that you have to use the button composable function, so I'm going to use a button composable function. So this is a button composable function. Okay, so under button on click, what I'm going to do, I'm going to print one toast, post dot make text. Here, uh, it is saying that you need to pass the context. So I am going to pass one context. Then I'm specifying the text which needs to be printed in the toast. So here I am passing login successfully. Then toast dot length short dot show. Okay. So now you can see here there is something wrong with context. So I am going to give some context here. How exactly we can give in compose? I am declaring one variable that is named as a context, and what I am going to pass here, that is local context dot current. So basically what exactly this code is going to do, that it is going to give the current context to this variable, and we are using this context here. Okay. And also we want to name something to the button, like we want to show something as a button, like either login, submit, or something like that. For that purposes, here I'm going to use text, and under that text I'm going to use a string submit. Now I'm going to build it and refresh it again. You can see here we have email, we have password, and now we have one button that is going to be named as a submit. So let's quickly check the output of this code in emulator. Okay. So now we have one login screen with us, and under that login screen, we have email, we have a password, and we have one button that is going to be a submit. But my just a very simple requirement is that I want to put all this design in the center of the screen. So for that, what I need to do, I need to set the horizontal alignment and vertical arrangement. So I need to specify that what is it is going to be a vertical side and what it is going to be a horizontal side. So I am going to do here, you can see here that, okay, let's just firstly give the horizontal alignment. So I'm going to use alignment dot. Now you can see here there are so many types of alignment: center, center horizontally, and start. So I'm just going to quickly give it center horizontally, because we want to set this design as a center horizontally and also as a vertical. So here vertical is, so if there is a column, the alignment is going to be horizontal and arrangement is going to be vertical. But if this is a row, it is going to be vice versa. Then horizontal is going to be arrangement and vertical is going to be alignment. So you have to take care for this, for row and for column. So I'm going to use arrangement dot center. Okay, let's just quickly check the output of these two lines, horizontal alignment and vertical arrangement. So now you can see that that particular design is in the center of the screen: email, password, and then submit button. And let us suppose if I'm going to click on this submit button, we have one toast that is saying login successfully. So we did not put any type of validation here in this particular form. So we are just printing one toast on the click of this submit button, right? So let's just quickly do one thing. But before that, I just want to showcase you one some another problem. So you can see here that when I clicked on this enter email and when I am trying to write anything on this enter email, it is not printing here. Nothing is happening here. If I am also mentioning the number, also the special symbol, nothing is happening. And in password fields also nothing is happening. That it means that if you want to manage states in compose, if you want to manage anything that is going to be changed in the screen, then you have to manage it explicitly. It means that you have to manage those states. And how exactly we are going to do, I am going to take one variable as val email equal to, for remembering the states in compose, we are going to use one keyword that is remember. And under that remember, now here you can see this is again red. It means something is wrong with this variable. So I'm just going to click on alt plus enter. it is resolved. How exactly it is resolved? That it basically imports this package for this remember. And what I need to manage, I need to manage the state. So I'm going to use keyword that is basically mutable state of. And under that mutable state of, which field I need to manage? I need to manage this particular field, that is text field. So here I'm going to mention text field value. Okay, so it is sorted, I guess. Now again, for password also we need to do the same thing. What exactly we need to do? Val password equal to remember, then again mutable state of, and password is also going to be a text field something value, so I'm going to use the same. Okay, so now you can see here we are going to manage the states of email and password. We just declare two variables, that is email and password. And how exactly we are going to use that? This email variable is going to hold the value of email and it is going to manage the state of this particular field. So we are going to use this property under the value, and we are going to use here email dot value, here value. Okay, so we are going to use this one, that is email dot value. And on value change, under on value change, what we are going to do, that whenever user is going to type anything, for example I'm writing loveleen at the rate gmail.com. So what exactly I'm going to follow? Firstly I'm going to write L, then O, then V, then E. It's mean the value of this particular text field is going to be a change at a several point of time. So we are going to do here email dot value equal to this one. Okay, I think something wrong with this. Let's quickly check. We have a text field, then we have a remember, um, mutable state of text field. Okay, so I can tell you what exactly the problem was. So this was the problem, because there are two text fields, and if I'm writing here without this parenthesis, so it is taking the reference of this companion object. But if I am giving some parenthesis to this property, where it is pointing to the constructor. So we need to use this constructor. So here also I am using this constructor. Now you can see here it is resolved. So same we need to do with password. Here I am using password dot value, and after that under on value change, what I need to do, password dot value equal to height. Okay, so let's quickly check if this is going to help us or not. So for this I'm going to run the project. Okay, so now I'm going to click on this. If I am writing here something, so now you can see that yes, it is working. This code is basically working. I'm writing with the keyboard of emulator. You can write it with your own emulator also. Yeah, it is working perfectly. For password fields also, if I'm writing the password as a Levine, oh, so this is the issue. What exactly the issue is that we need to use this field as a password field, not as a simple string field. So for this, let's quickly check if there is something there or not for password. We have value on value change. Okay, so here is one interesting property, that is visual transformation. So basically what we are going to do, that we are going to change the transformation of the visual part. Visual part means that what exactly we are watching, we are seeing. So I am going to change here one property, that is going to be visual transformation, and we are going to give this password visual transformation, right? Let's check if this is working or not. Okay, so I'm writing here loveleen at the rate gmail.com. and password is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. um if I'm going to click on submit, yeah, login success. So now whatever we did in this code part, yes, that is working exactly fine. So it's mean that this visual transformation is working fine, because now we can see this field as a password field, and on clicking on this submit button, what exactly we are showing, that login successfully. Okay. So so it's mean that if we want to manage any states in the compose, if you want to take care of the edit text, we want to take care of the input fields, we want to take care of the any type of a input field, then we need to manage the states, and there are multiple keywords for managing the states. In this code I use the mutable state of, but yes, there are some other properties also, you can check in the developer guide. Okay. So yeah, and under this UI dot theme exactly, I forgot to tell you that what exactly there was. There is one color dot kt file. So like in XML projects we have colors dot xml, but in compose project we have color dot kt. In shape.kt we have all the shapes if we want to make something as a round, medium, small size, everything. And under the theme we have a themes like dark color, light color, and what exactly we want to use as a theme. And under type, basically we have font families, font weights, and all those things that is related to be fonts. And if we want to make some generic type of thing for a whole application as a font style and font related things, we can do all those coding in this type.kt. So this was just a very very small demonstration of that how we can make a simple project in compose, and how we can design the login screen with the help of compose. So guys, I tried that uh, I can like tell you what exactly the compose was, and basically why we are using it. And I just made a very very simple screen with the help of compose, composable functions, and also the compose related all things. So yes, if you want to do compose, please like follow the pathways that is provided by Google. And also we are going to put this ppt link under the description of this YouTube live. You can check all the resources, and you must practice it by yourself. And if you guys like have any issues in compose, just let me know, I will be very happy to help you. You can connect with me on like social media, and if there will be any query, I will be happily resolve you. So guys, thank you so much.